All right, Seahawks are about to pick. You want Yetur Gross-Matos or Jonathan Taylor? Let's see who it is. All right.
Safety.
So with the 27th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft,
Or middle linebacker.
Seattle Seahawks select Jordyn Brooks.
What?
He's not even better than Patrick Queen.
A linebacker?
Tell me this week, I wish people would stop Jordyn Brooks in their mock.
What?
We love this.
What the
We
fuck?
want everybody to know him. But you look at the numbers
They're older.
on the field and the production Lewis has just
I mean, he's good, but like,
Where is he going to start? Where is he going to start?
gross mouth.
How's it going, Seahawks fans? So, what you just saw was my reaction last night to the Seahawks drafting inside linebacker Jordyn Brooks out of Texas Tech in the 2020 draft in the first round last night. Now, I know in the video it looks like I'm really not a fan of the pick, and truth be told, I'm not. But after taking a night to sort of sleep on it and think it over, I mean, it's still not a pick that I love. It's still a pick that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me.
I mean, what the hell is this? I really don't understand it.
But it's not a pick that I hate either, and I'm going to explain why here. Now, the first reason I don't really like this pick is because we're already loaded at linebacker. And what I mean by that is, I know people are going to say that, KJ Wright only has 1 year left on his contract. We need to be thinking about the future there. Bobby Wagner, he's not getting any younger. But, truth be told, we still have KJ for another year, and Bobby Wagner came off of a better year than he's even played the last year or two. So he's still got plenty left in the tank. I think KJ has enough for at least one more year with us. He might not be a Seahawk come 2021. I don't know, but we'll see there. And then on the other side, we have Michael Kendricks. I'll put an asterisk on him because we still don't know about him because of his whole court case and what have you. But we also just re-signed Bruce Irvin, who came off the best year of his career with Carolina last year. We also have Ben Burkervin, Shaquem Griffin, Cody Barton, those guys who have already been learning the system for a while. So it didn't really make sense to me in the sense that we're trying to add depth to a spot that I don't think we need a whole lot more depth at. I think we could have added more depth, say, on the defensive line, which really struggled last year. Maybe we could find another corner to kind of complete the tandem that Shaquille Griffin and Quentin Dunbar are going to make for us next year. Now, you heard the two guys in the beginning that I said I wanted the Seahawks to draft, which were Yetur Gross-Matos and Jonathan Taylor. Now, if you're not familiar, Yetur Gross-Matos is out of, I think, Penn State. He's an edge rusher who is somebody that we really need, especially if we're not going to get Jadeveon Clowney back or we're not going to sign Yannick Ngakoue or anything like that. And then there was Jonathan Taylor, who was among the best running backs in college last year.
He's got incredible energy, too.
Yes, sir.
Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll. I mean, I know you don't get to pick your team, but I got a feeling a team that would be on your short list if you got a chance to select where you're going to go. Sounds like you'd love to play for the Seahawks if you could.
I would love to play for the Seahawks.
Well, we'll see how.
And I know a lot of people were really not wanting Pete Carroll to draft another running back in the first round, but it's like we only drafted Rashad Penny really in the first round in the Pete Carroll era, and he hasn't been first-round talent, I guess, but, he hasn't been too bad. And the problem is that we have Chris Carson and we have Rashad Penny, but the guys are injury-prone. We had to take Marshawn Lynch out of retirement last year come playoff time, and that put us in a really bad situation because we had no running game. I've seen the scouting report on Jordyn Brooks from all angles. Now, there are some questions about his pass coverage. Per PFF, he dropped into coverage 274 times and forced 0 incompletions. Now, that's the first red flag I'm seeing with him. But the positives I'm seeing is that he's really fast. He's a sideline-to-sideline linebacker. He hits really, really hard. So people are kind of hoping he could be maybe a run stuffer or a pass rusher. But my thoughts are, if you want a pass rusher, just get a pass rusher. I mean, Yetur Gross-Matos was on the board. Now, Seahawks fans, like any fans, have a tendency to maybe overreact just a little bit to the decisions we make. And, people are like, fire Pete Carroll, and we need to get rid of John Schneider. These guys are out of their minds. This isn't what this video is about. I don't want them to fire Pete Carroll. I don't want them to fire John Schneider. I think those two are some of the best GM coach duos in the league. But let's not act like they've never made questionable decisions in the first round. I mean, you just go back the last few years. If they didn't trade away the first round pick, we took Jermaine Ifedi in, I think it was 2016. Obviously, he didn't pan out very well. He had some problems with not only his job, but he had a lack of work ethic, it seemed, and sometimes a bit of a temper. Then we had Rashad Penny, who I still argue isn't really a first-round talent, but he's filled in nicely when Chris Carson wasn't available. And then last year we got LJ Collier, and that guy he got injured as soon as he came to the team, so he wasn't available most of the time. And then when he did play, which he didn't play a lot, but he didn't really do much for us, you know? And the biggest defense of these picks that I hear is Seahawks fans saying, well, look back to 2011 and look back to 2012 when we got F grades from all of the critics on our draft picks and we turned out to be picking superstars, you know, Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, Bruce Irvin, all these guys. Let's not treat this like it's 2011, 2012. My biggest problem with that is the fact that these are two entirely different teams. You know, in 2010, we made the playoffs at 7-9. Last year, we made the playoffs at 11-5. So if that doesn't tell you about how much different of a team this is, then I don't know what will. And I don't mean to bring the kid down any more than he probably has already been brought down by his critics, but let's stop with this notion right now that he's the next Bobby Wagner. Okay, I don't care who he was coached by. I don't care what college he went to. I don't care who he's going to be learning under. Bobby Wagner is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. All right, in the last decade, we've had Bobby Wagner and Luke Kuechly, I think, have been the top two linebackers in the last 10 years, and it wasn't even close. So to say that we're just going to draft this guy in the first round who is going to be the heir apparent, the next Bobby Wagner, and he's going to just take over his spot because he's learning under him and because they had the same coach, I think that's a very inappropriate assumption to make. I'm not at all saying that the kid can't play, but to call him another Bobby Wagner, I'll believe it when I see it. That's all I got to say about that. Now, I think my main problem with this pick and sort of the overall reason why I'm somewhat frustrated with it is it feels like the Seattle Seahawks are so close to another Super Bowl run when you only need a few more good players, you know, another good running back to really solidify our running game, another offensive lineman that steadies up our O-line and keeps Russell Wilson protected, another guy on the D-line that can actually get pressure on the other quarterbacks so it can strengthen up our defense. It feels like we're so close in those areas, but we're focusing on instead 1, 2, 3 years down the line. And, you know, I've never really had a problem with getting young players so they can learn the system, and then down the line when all these superstars are gone, they're ready to take over their role. But it's frustrating when you know that your team is so close and it feels like they're not going after the needs that they really have to fill, you know? I know I'm not the only Seahawks fan who was questioning this pick. I just watched Norbcam's live stream that he did last night during the draft, and he had about the same reaction that I did.
Jordyn Brooks, linebacker, Texas.
Jordyn Brooks. Jordyn Brooks.
Because I had one coach tell me this week, I wish
Jordan Taylor.
What's a linebacker?
They went inside linebacker. Oh my God.
Kidding me.
Now, I want to end this video on kind of a high note because, you know, at the end of the day, he's already picked. You know, there's no use in crying over spilled milk. You didn't get the guy you wanted, so what? We're moving on to the second round, the third round. We've got 2 picks in the second round, the 59th pick and the 64th pick. So we'll see what we do there. But you know what? Jordyn Brooks, welcome to the team, man. I hope we can make you the best player that you could possibly be. I hope you're better than you would ever dreamed of being. If the day comes where you have to take over, you know, KJ Wright or Bobby Wagner's role, I hope you do it with flying colors, man. So that's been my quick take on the drafting of Jordyn Brooks to the Seattle Seahawks from Texas Tech. Pick number 27 in the first round of the 2020 draft. I'm glad you're on the team, Jordyn. I hope you can fill in for whatever role you need to. I hope you can make our team even better, and I hope we can win a championship with you, man. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me, and I want to hear your comments down in the comment section as to why you think this is a good or a bad pick for the Seahawks. What your predictions are for the season, if you're a Seahawks fan, or even if you're not a Seahawks fan. What do you think the Seattle Seahawks ceiling is, and what do you think their floor is? That's my question to you. All right, as always, go Hawks.